What's up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Thank you so much for being here. And as you know, I go around the planet finding the best people on it so we can come here to grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. I love giving you guys like tools and resources and things you can use, and the people that come on here to really like express what they are doing with others and how they're helping you get forward to where you want to go. So today I found Prit, and I was trying to say her last name, but I know it's gonna mess it up. It's Madhukar, I think, and she's a marketing nomad. She is an entrepreneur, a business owner, an author, a podcaster, YouTuber, digital nomad, and a nano influencer with a zest for life. And I freaking love that, right? So she started her own company, the Marketing Nomad, and she is, really just working to empower entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners across the world, implementing long-term actionable marketing strategies to help them grow their business with confidence. Now, a lot of you who are always so active on my social media and everything else, you guys are always into learning more about marketing, learning more about sales, all of that. So that's why Prit is here, because I knew that she was going to be able to drop some knowledge on you guys today. So Prit, thank you for being here. I know it's early in the morning for you, and I'm really grateful. How are you today?
Oh, I'm so awesome, Neena. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's an absolute pleasure.
I'm glad you're here. I really, really am. I'm glad that we connected. And I realized when I was going to invite you to the StreamYard today, I'm like, wait a minute, how am I not like, on her Instagram? So I'm like, immediately follow. What is wrong with me? So Prit, before we get all into all the stuff that you're doing to help these small business owners, I do want to know a little bit about you. So tell us a little bit about you. Anything you want to share?
Oh, yeah, sure. So let me first talk about how I even got started on this entrepreneurial journey, because, oh my God, Neena, that story has a lot of drama, a lot of intrigue.
I love it. I love it.
Best of all, I think it's got a little Indian girl who has absolutely no idea that her life is going to change for the better.
I love
it. I had actually just completed my MBA from New York. It was in Rochester Institute of Technology. And after that, when you are an international student, you actually get 1 year of practical training. So I got an amazing job on my OPT, that's what it's called. And my employer was supposed to convert my student visa into a work visa a year down the line. And they did. I mean, they really wanted to have me on board. But unfortunately, my work visa was not processed. And that meant I had to leave the country that I'd called home for 3 years. I had to leave my friends, my best friends. I had to leave an amazing job and all of my amazing colleagues as well. And it was heartbreaking, Neena. It was like the vision that I had for my life was just gone in a second and was gone overnight. And, in that moment of pain, of anguish, of frustration and anger about my life, I thought that, well, I'm already at level 0. I've got to sit down now and put my resumes on LinkedIn. I have to do that. But what if I started something on my own? And I would try it for a year. If it didn't work out, I could always go back on LinkedIn and post my resume there for full-time jobs.
You go, girl.
Absolutely.
I love that.
I look at myself like 3 years now and I'm like, I have no idea how I even took that decision. But I was like, no, I think I owe it to myself to find light in this darkness. And the only person who can create it is myself. And so that's actually the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. And hands down, it has been the best decision that I have made for myself. There have been crazy lows. There have been absolutely crazy highs as well. But at the same time, if I had to go through the whole thing again, I think I would. Because I think what this journey has taught me has been so precious and so liberating in so many aspects of my life. So that is basically how I started my entrepreneurial journey. Fast forward 3 years, I've been doing so many things to empower businesses across the world to confidently implement their marketing strategies. Because when I started out despite having an MBA with a concentration in marketing, and despite being an engineer myself, I found it so hard to actually crack the entire entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah,
I
it's
had
hard.
all of these degrees, but it was hard. And it's very different. There's a natural gap between what you study and what is actually happening in the business world. And not just that, I think what happens to each person is very unique. Like your journey is very unique, Neena. Mine also, it's a very different way, a different path. And for me, I wanted to make sure that, after I sort of figured out my journey, I wanted to make sure that I was there to help other business owners with their marketing, with their business strategy, and of course with their mindset as well, because that's a huge part of this journey as well. So this is where I am today, 3 years on. I'm an author. I'm a podcaster, YouTuber. I'm also a Skillshare teacher, Etsy shop owner. And I think I'm just a girl with a zest for life. And I'm going to keep going.
That's really powerful, Prit, because I love that you said, I'm already at ground zero. And I think that is a powerful shift in perspective, right? Because you can look at it and say, woe is me, and stay in that ground zero, because you have the right to do that. It is your life. You have the right to do that. But to look at that and say, I'm already at ground zero, and the only one that can shift this is me, right? So that's something that I feel is already innate in you. Because you came, first of all, now let me back up a little bit. So when you came here with your visa, so you are born and raised in India, I'm assuming, right? And then you traveled here, or how did that work?
No. I was born in India, raised in Singapore, then did my engineering in Bangalore, and then came to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey. We have some traveling to do. Okay. But to then come here and then have your best friends here, have your life here, and your vision, because you said I already had envisioned what I was going to do with my life, right? And so that, I think there's something powerful to be said that sometimes in life things happen for us, not against us.
Yes.
Right?
Always.
Yeah.
Neena.
Yeah. I agree. And I feel that, you going back was supposed to happen, even though we go through it sometimes kicking and screaming, right? Because, because it's not how we planned it, right? It's just not how we planned it. And then, I have a belief in God, right? I believe in God. So I believe that he sets us up, and then we're like, no, I don't want, but that is super powerful. I love that. I'm already at ground zero. What am I going to do with that? That's a very powerful thing, Prit. And so I'm really proud of you. And I'm super proud of you for saying, you know what? I'm going to give myself a year. I'm going to give myself a year, and I'm going to do the best I can. And when I can't, I'll go back on LinkedIn. So you already had the mindset of, I'm going to give myself time. And if it doesn't work right now, that's okay. I'll have a plan B. And I think that is going to be a powerful thing for the people who are listening to really understand that when you are on this entrepreneurial journey, it's not an overnight thing. And I don't care what guru in the world tries to tell you that in 90 days, your whole life is going to be amazing. It's going to be better if you're taking steps, but you're not going to arrive in 90 days.
Absolutely.
And so I love that you said that. I love that you gave yourself that time and space, because it was not easy, especially with the frustration of leaving everything behind that you were really building, right? So when you started your own business, did you start, your degree is in marketing. So is that where you initially just launched off with marketing? Or did you try because you said you have an Etsy store and all this other stuff. So tell me about that piece.
Yeah. So basically, I always knew that I would end up in the marketing space because, like I told you, I'm actually an engineer. And then I pivoted from engineering after I got my degree, which was another crazy, insane story to begin with. But I pivoted there. And then, so I was very sure that I will be in the marketing space after I got my degree. And when I first started out, I tried to be a marketing freelancer. I tried literally every possible marketing service that I could do. And then I narrowed down after, I think it took me about 1.5 years of working with different clients, working with different areas of marketing, for me to narrow down to one niche, and that is marketing strategy. And that's what I do today. So I think that one thing I would like to tell your listeners is, when you start this entrepreneurial journey, sometimes you may not have an idea about what exactly you want to do. It's really, really important to niche down. I really want to stress on that. But when you start out, it is understandable that you may have a couple of different areas that you're interested in. It really helps to give yourself that time to try things out, because what you perceive that you want to do may not actually be what you really want to do or can do even. Because there were a couple of things that, even though I had the skills, I was just not fast enough for, to compete with the other marketing freelancers out there. So there are different aspects and different factors that you need to keep in mind when you start your entrepreneurial journey. And of course, make your decision. Take your time. I really want to stress this. There is so much of content out there that says, oh, you need to figure this out before you start the journey, or it needs to be super, super fast. No, it's really not. That's not the reality of it. The reality of it is, you're going to stumble a lot. You are going to be so confused a lot. But if you give yourself that space and that time, you will figure it out. You've just got to be patient with the journey. And if anything that you can take home from this entire podcast episode, I really, really want it to be this.
Right. And that's very powerful. And again, that's reality though. A year and a half, reality, right?
Yes.
I mean, I've been coaching women for many years, right? And so, but I just got into this, social media space type of thing, right? And so immediately a couple of things hit me that I didn't even know I had, right? Imposter syndrome being one of them, right?
Okay.
Coaching women for many, many years, know what I'm doing, women having success. Here I am on this social media freaking shenanigans. And here I am like, where are all my people? Hello, where are all my people? And it's funny because that, and to your point, Prit, I think it's all of the commercials coming at you and the ads coming at you and everything coming at you, telling you that you're going to get this fast, right? And when you're not getting it fast enough, you start to question you. Are you good enough? Are you able to do this? Even though you've been doing it forever, like you even went to school for it, you have your master's in it, you have everything in it, and you're still questioning yourself. And that's a real thing. That's a real thing. And I'm sure that you see that a lot when you're working with your clients. And another thing that I love is you touch on so many things. So you touched on, please niche down, because that's one of the things that when I'm talking to my clients, I help them with as well, because they want to just serve. I know I can serve everybody. Well, how's that working for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're actually on a call with me for a reason, right? And that's, and I think it's because we feel afraid of making that kind of a decision, because what if we lose what? What if you lose what, right? And so I'm sure that when you were starting and you're like, wow, I'm not faster than they are, or I'm not doing it like they are. And I know that comes in because all of us go through it. You go through not thinking you know what they're doing. And if people are really good at like making themselves look amazing on social media, they're probably not even doing that well, but they have really great, pictures and performances, right? And I think we should just stay in our lane and do what we know how to do and try to do it to the best of our capabilities, right? So tell me about your marketing niche, what you're doing now, because you said you landed on something. You said marketing strategies. I want you to explain that a little bit to me and my audience. What does that mean?
Yeah, sure. So just to reiterate what you said, Neena, when I first started out, I listed 23 services on my website.
Wow.
I am not even quitting 23 because, like you said, I was so scared to niche down. I thought maybe I was going to lose clients. But the fact is that what I realized is that the definition of expert means that you are the authority in one subject.
Thing.
Just one thing.
Yes.
So, and especially in the online space, you have to be the expert. You have to, because there's just so much competition. So it's just easier if you niche down, be the authority, be the expert in that one thing, be known for one thing. And it just really smoothens things out, because people know what you do, people know how to find you, and you yourself know what to do. I mean, having 23 services, let me tell you, it was a mess. I did not know what I was doing. I absolutely was just going crazy. And I was so irritated. I was like, I have built all these skills up for so many years. Why can't I put it out there? But the reality is, you've got to find one thing to be known for, get known for it, and then you can expand, which is something that I have done. So
yeah, well, I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to interrupt you for 2 seconds. The reason that you were frustrated is because I actually just received an, you know, I'm getting spammed all the time. And I just received somebody who's doing the same thing you were doing. They gave me a list of like 50 things that they do. Ooh. I couldn't read through it. I just I let go of the email. So that's why you are frustrated, because you do have the skills, but we get overwhelmed when we have too much, you know? So I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Yeah. So what I do right now is I've been doing this for about 1.5 to 2 years. I started my company. It is a marketing strategy consultancy firm. So when I started my company in 2020, a year later, in the middle of a pandemic, I have to add, I realized that this was the direction that I wanted to take it. So what I essentially do is I help solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, business owners, with their marketing strategy. So for example, you're planning to launch your business. How do you go about it? What are the platforms that you need to be on? Which part of marketing do you need to focus on? Especially with solopreneurs, I think that there is a tendency, and I've done this too, to take on every single thing instead of focusing on what's important. So my job is to help you strategize your marketing in a way that is beneficial for you. So if you're a solopreneur, my marketing plan is specifically for you and how you can handle it as a single business owner. If you have a team, then my marketing plan is customized to the strengths of your team, because I actually take the time to get to know your team, to understand what resources that you have and do not have. And that's essentially what I do. So I help with website marketing. That's one area, social media marketing, but it's all about marketing strategy, and then content marketing as well. So these are 3 verticals in marketing strategy that I actually help business owners, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs with.
So let me ask you this. So let's say I come to you, Prit, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to, and I actually am relaunching my business, but say I'm about to relaunch my business, Prit, and I have zero idea, right? How to capture names, or how to, you know, sell a product. Do you work with people who sell physical products as well?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Okay, so I don't have a physical product, but say I have a physical product and I want to sell it. So what you're saying, and maybe I just want to make sure I'm hearing you well. So what you're saying is you help me look at what it is I'm trying to sell, who it is I'm trying to sell to, and then come up with a program for that. Is that right?
Yes. Okay, I come up with a plan for you to work on your marketing and to, as much as possible, automate it for you as well. And all of the advice, the suggestions, and the plans that I give, they're all based on organic marketing, because I know that sometimes when you start out, there's not much of funds. You don't maybe have the financial resources. So as much as possible, I try to keep the expenses at the minimum, and I work with what you already have. So that's where I work from.
That's beautiful. And I know that a lot of people who are listening are probably like, what? Okay, Prit, you know, because the truth is I think, you know, and I speak to like a lot of coaches, a lot of business owners. And that's why I asked you about physical products, because I also know a few people that are talking to me now about physical products. Right. But I talk about niching down and actually coming up with a strategy. I don't do the marketing piece of it, right? Because I'm not a marketer. So that's really great. So that's why I'm glad they're listening, because I know that a lot of this is a big struggle for people, Prit, this strategy, right? This is a huge struggle because there's way too much information coming at us. It really is. And another thing I like you said is organic marketing. So here's the issue, and you probably know this because you're in the field. The issue that I think a lot of entrepreneurs and solopreneurs have is they don't know who to trust, Prit. And that's why I wanted you on here, right? Because I wanted to give a voice to what you do, right? And the services that you provide. Because I don't just bring people on here. I try to make sure that I like what they're doing, who they are as people, so that my audience can really benefit from that. Because I have a very good audience. I mean, they're always like DMing me and they're emailing me and they're, you know, liking everything and stuff. So I want to make sure that this is of value to them. And I love that you niched down what you are doing. So you're not coming on here saying, oh, I do this, you know, and confusing yourself and everyone. That's so funny. So I know that. So that's great. So then you help them with that. You help them automate that so that they can start selling and launching either their digital or physical products, right? And I'm assuming that also you see entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners. So you probably work with like coaches and stuff as well, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's great. Is there like, since you're niche down, is there something that you don't work with, or a type of business you don't work with? Do you have anything that you
Yes, I actually don't work with the hospitals and mental health institutions. Just for me, on a personal front, those are a little bit triggering for me and my mental health. So those are only the two industries that I don't work with. But other than that, I work with every single industry, whether you're a product-based, you're service-based, everything is customized for you. Because as Neena says, there is a lot of information out there. And sometimes what works for someone else does not work for you. And I think when it comes to trusting the right kind of people, I do want to say that, one, you have to make sure that the person who you're talking to says that it's going to be customized for you, because that is the very definition of marketing. It has to be customized for you. So that is one point that I would say, if you're looking for someone, looking for who to trust, that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. The second thing is, if they say, oh, I can guarantee this result in this amount of time, I would say run far, far away from them, because that again is the opposite of marketing, of true solid marketing. Marketing is all about building a steady foundation so that you have long-term success. That is the key to marketing. It is not quick. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes a lot of effort to actually sustain that for a very long time. So if you're thinking of hiring a consultant for your business, these would be two things that I would say to look out for. And of course, do your due diligence. Look at their own marketing. What is it that they're doing? Does their personal branding align with what you do? Because sometimes I have noticed this, Neena, that my thought process of one way may not align with my clients, you know? And that's a natural thing, because there might be someone else who you are more accustomed to their working style, or the way that they speak, the way that they think, the way that they handle you as a client. So make sure that there is that, I guess, synergy between you and the other person as well. That's very important, because like you said, Neena, I can't work with everyone, but I know that there are a select set of people who match with my energy, who understand my line of thinking, and who are able to put into action the solutions that I give. So make sure that there is that synergy as well.
Yeah, that's really, really important, right? Because sometimes just for you that are listening as well, like, one of the things I do when I get reached out, these cold calls, right? I do respect them. They're doing their hustle. They're trying to reach out. And I think that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing until they become intrusive, right? But when I see, like, if Prit would have came to me and would have been like, hey, I can do your marketing plan for you, and then I go on Prit's page and I'm like, what is going on here? You have to question things too. Don't just take things as face value, because it is your hard-earned money. And now Prit is working really hard for her hard-earned money, and you're working hard to give and to have something in return. And so I think one of the things that as solopreneurs and entrepreneurs that we make a mistake about is that we throw money at everything hoping something sticks, right? And then we're struggling. Now we don't trust anyone, right? Because we've been trying to get results and we're not getting them. So I really love that you are so honest and straightforward about, this is going to take time. And the key word here was effort. This is going to take effort. If somebody tells you that you don't have to do anything, they are not telling you the truth. That is not true at all. So, I really, really love your energy. I love what you're bringing to the table. So thank you for being honest like that. I really appreciate that, because I know that the people that listen to this podcast are really, people that want to become successful or are in that pivot in their life where they're shifting into something new, and this is valuable, right? So I also want them to know other things you got going on, because you got a YouTube, you got a podcast, you just wrote a book, like all this great stuff. So give us a download on all that fantastic stuff going on.
Okay, so basically on my Instagram page, it's more of the quirky side of me. I do Bollywood dancing. It's more of a deep in-person view of who I am as a person. And for me, because one of my mission is basically not just to help business owners with their marketing, it's also with mindset and business. And for me, I try as much as possible to show up authentically, to share my struggles, to share the mistakes that I make, to share the lessons that I've learned, because I think that one of the reasons why I even wrote my book, Neena, was because it was so frustrating to me to not see any books during the initial stages of entrepreneurship. And that is the title of my book. It's 0 to 4 Figures. It is about the initial struggles. And a lot of books out there gloss over the amount of effort it takes to go from 0 figures to 1 figure to 2 figures, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's actually why I wrote my book. And that's also I think I'm really, really drawn to that purpose. That is my purpose, to, as much as possible, let other entrepreneurs know that you are not going through this alone. Okay, there is a huge difference between what is portrayed on social media to what actually happens. And as much as possible, I want to stay authentic to my journey, and of course to my viewers as well. So on my YouTube, on my Instagram, it's more of a quirky side of me. I'm sharing my tips, my lessons, my mistakes, all of those things. And then on my YouTube, I basically vlog about my life as much as possible, like the behind the scenes, because there are so many roles that I do take on. And I know that, it might be interesting for someone to know, okay, how did she write her book? Or how did she get started on Skillshare? What does she do on Skillshare? What are her time commitments like? All of those things, to see that maybe it inspires someone down the line to start. So that's what I do on my YouTube. On my podcast, I share marketing, business, and mindset tips for business owners, solopreneurs. I have guests on every Friday, and then I hop on every Tuesday. And then on Etsy, I know that you asked this question, and I think I missed answering that. So on Etsy, I basically sell digital products to solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and business owners. So for example, you want 365 Instagram content ideas for your niche. All you have to do is send me a message. If the content is already not there on Etsy, send me a message saying, Prit, I'm a, let's say, business coach. I want 365 Instagram content ideas, and then I get it done for you. And then I put it on Etsy, and then you go through Etsy and buy it. Right now, I think I have one for personal finance, those kind of things. So those are my very, very popular products as well. And so that's something that I do on Etsy. Highly recommend everyone to check it out, because it's very budget friendly for you, and you get content ideas for like the entire year. It just calms you down a lot. And I'm also a Skillshare teacher, where I just put courses out there. It's just to help the general public, and whatever are my belief systems, or what I believe to be core marketing strategies. Very intensive a bit on strategy on Skillshare. So I usually post that on Skillshare. My book, as I told you, 0 to 4 Figures, it is basically a compilation of 61 stories and lessons that have contributed to my entrepreneurial journey. And the actual full title is 0 to 4 Figures, Lessons Learned by a Broke CEO. And spoiler alert, that's me.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. That is really awesome. Okay, what's the name of your podcast?
It's The Marketing Nomad Show. So if you want to find me anywhere, I'm The Marketing Nomad. That's just my online pseudonym, and that's the best and easiest way that you can find me.
Oh man, this was so much fun. How did we have this much fun talking about marketing? I don't know. I love it. I really love it. Yeah, I really love it. I love your energy. I love what you're bringing to the table. I love that you came on Straight Talk. I know that my people are, really going to love this episode. And so I really thank you so much. I really do, Prit. This was really fun. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And for all of you listening out there, thank you so much for listening all the way up until here. You're going to do amazing. Keep going. It's just a matter of time and patience.
Yes, it is. Patience, girlfriend. Patience. Hey guys, don't forget exactly. You want to make sure that you follow Prit. As you can see just by this podcast alone, she has like amazing energy. She's bringing the truth to the table, and we're straight talkers. So if we're straight talkers, we like people who straight talk. So make sure you follow the Marketing Nomad, because that is where you'll find her everywhere. And make sure you listen to her podcast as well. Pick up that book, because that sounds so fun. And on top of it being fun, it's probably all of our story. So anyway, guys, that's real talk. Guys, thank you so much for being here. This is Neena Perez, Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Until next time.